In this video, I'm going to run you through exactly how you can use what's called a Boolean search to master Sales Navigator. Most people are using Sales Navigator with vague kind of search queries using the filters in a generic way, which gives you lists which are not very targeted and are full of people who are not actually your target audience. But with Boolean searches and creating the right kind of strings, you can refine that list so that you are only reaching out to exactly the right people. And the absolute foundation of lead generation is making sure that you're reaching out to the right kind of people. So I'll jump over here and I'll show you exactly how to use the Boolean search. So you can run a Boolean search on Sales Navigator by entering what's called a Boolean string directly into either the main search bar or in other filter types within the Sales Navigator choices. So what is a Boolean search? It comprises of operators like and, not, or in capital letters, and grouping symbols like quotation marks for exact phrases and parentheses, brackets, to organize search terms and which ones to be searched for first. Think about it like in maths, right? So if you have 2 times 3 plus 2 plus 3 times 10, right, is going to be different to if you have 2 plus 3 in a bracket times 10. Okay, you're going to get a different result because you need to control what to do first and what to do together. So it's very similar when we go through in Boolean searches. So these filters allow you to refine, expand, and define your search results. Okay, so how can we actually use these? Quotation searches or quoted searches, they search for an exact phrase, includes the phrase in quotation marks. For example, right, product manager. Okay, it means that then you will search for just that phrase in whichever filter you're putting it in, whether that's title or if that's the normal keywords, then it would search anywhere within their actual company profile and personal profile. You can also use quotation marks if you want to find someone with a multi-word title. Right, this is really handy here so that you're not just putting in 2 different words and it finding it in different orders. It's only doing it in that order. Not searches, you type the word not in capital letters immediately before a search term to exclude it from your search results. This typically limits your results, so it actually refines it, makes it so that you have less people in there because you are removing that title or that word from the search. Or searches, you type the word or in capital letters, and for example here, sales or marketing or advertising. It means that it will search for results that have one of those words in. And searches mean that it has to have 2 words. So if you were to put in accountant and finance, the search result would have to have both of those in. And then you've got parenthetical, say that word, parenthetical searches. Combine terms with parentheses to build complex logic. So like we were talking about in math, right? For example, VP, not assistant or SVP. Cool. So there's also just an order of precedence, right? Which one is focused on first by the algorithm to be able to search. So quotes are number 1, the exact phrase match. Phrase matching occurs before any other Boolean is applied. Right, parentheses, so again, like in maths, it controls which ones it looks at first based on your brackets. Then it's not, then it's and then it's or. The best place to use the Boolean search is generally in either your current or your past title filters. These are probably going to be the most useful places for you to use them, and they get the most accurate results. Right? Most of the time, people are searching for a specific title of person, whether that's a CEO, a CXO, a manager, a CMO, whatever it might be, whoever you're reaching out to, a consultant, but specifically in IT, right? That's generally where it's going to be the most useful. You can also use it in the generic keywords at the top, but in a minute I'll show you the difference of what kind of list you get using the same Boolean string, depending on where you use it. So here's a few Boolean examples. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump straight over to my sales nav as well, and I'm going to show you exactly what each one does and the differences between. Okay, so we're just going to start off with recruitment. Okay, and we're going to put it in the job title. So recruitment, right? 510,000 results. Okay, and you can see they're very vague. Then we've got head of sales in recruitment, right? We've got director and principal recruitment consultant, right? Head of recruitment. These are all very vague people, right? If you were to reach out to basically anybody in the recruitment industry, then maybe this list would work for you. Most people want to refine that and reach out to very specific people, okay? And also not a list of 510,000. So we want to refine that a little bit. How about we put in recruitment specialist, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to add quotation marks, right, on the outside of it, which means we're very specifically just looking for a recruitment specialist. Okay, so we're going to pop that in here. Now we have people with only recruitment specialist, right, in their headline. Okay, now if we were to put recruitment specialist up in keywords, you still get vague results. Okay, so a lot of people try and use Boolean up here, right? And sometimes that can work, it can help, right? But we will get some recruitment specialists, but we'll also get some other people. Now they might have recruitment specialist in their bio, but not in their headline. So there's a difference. Cool, but then we might actually want recruitment specialists who are in IT, right? We don't just want recruitment specialists because they're going to be in any industry. So recruitment specialist and IT, right? That means that inside their job title, we want recruitment specialist and we want the word IT. Okay, so now we have IT recruitment specialist, recruitment specialist, IT, right? IT recruitment specialist and HR specialist, right? Recruitment specialist, IT and engineering. Okay, so you can see how we're getting really refined with our search results. We also only have 1,000 results. We had 510,000 to begin with. Okay, you can then obviously refine these lists by using things like company headcount, location, all those kind of things. But we've already got a very, very good list here just using that. Okay, now you can just segment out by country or something. Cool, but we might want to go a little bit further. We might want a recruitment specialist or a recruitment consultant, because we know that actually they often call themselves either a consultant or a specialist, and it's really the same thing, right? So we're actually reducing our list by just saying specialist, when actually we get the same people by adding in consultant. But we also want to do and IT. But you can see here we've added the brackets because we want to initially search for recruitment specialist or recruitment consultant. Okay, so it will come up with people who are either a recruitment specialist in IT, or they're named a recruitment consultant in IT. Okay, so this should expand our list. We did have 1,000. This should now, expand our list. 1,500. Okay. Oh, but we've still got this up here. My bad. Let's just take that out. LinkedIn, being a pain in the ass. Okay, 4,000. There we are. Right, so now we've got more, and you can see as you come down here, we still have recruitment consultant, right? Recruitment specialist in IT, specialist in IT, right? We've got recruitment consultant in IT, right? Recruitment in IT. You can see how it's expanded the list out because we've accepted recruitment consultant as well. So that list has got bigger. But now we might want to, now these will change the list a lot less, but we might also want to add not private, right? We're only looking for people who are in a company, right? So they're not private, right? Whereas people who are in a company wouldn't say in a company, right? Whereas people who are private IT consultants, i.e. freelance, right? They would probably use private, or maybe even the word freelance. So we could also say not freelance here as well, right? But what you can do is you can exclude people based on certain search terms as well. So we're still at 4K here. It obviously rounds to the nearest 1,000 or nearest half a thousand. But this would have removed anybody who then claims to be a freelance or a private recruitment consultant or recruitment specialist within IT. So now you will only have people who are within a company, for example. You can, of course, also do that with stuff like company headcount, but if you come through your list and it's a good list, apart from you keep seeing one word that isn't actually right, you can exclude it by using that not option, all right, in here. Now, what we have to do here when we want to use two separate types of brackets is we need to do double bracket at the front and then a single bracket at the end, because we're closing it off here, right? And then closing it off here. We don't bracket this separate to this. We tell it that there's going to be two brackets, and then we say we close off here and we close off here, okay? So this is how you can use Boolean search inside of Sales Navigator. I hope that helps. Now you can actually build these super targeted lists, making sure that you find exactly the right people to reach out to and spend a lot less time when you're doing your outreach. Cool. I hope that helps, guys. I'll pop this training straight down below as well, and some extra links where you can get some good stuff. Cheers.